I mean, we are
Okay.
talking about, 200,000 coaches. So we've run off them. Yeah.
Wow. And is that across the entire country or is that a
Entire
specific
country.
region?
No, an entire country.
Wow, that's incredible. And that's a relatively short amount of time. You're talking about the early 2010s. It's only 2025.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, A+ and big applause because
Thank you.
I mean, it's not very often that
Welcome to the Zuloo Poodcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories and quirky humour, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in flushing poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, on the health and wellness of humanity, and what Zuloo is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis. This episode of the Zuloo Poodcast has been sponsored by Zuloo Humanitarian, advancing dignity, health, and opportunity through sanitation. Learn more at zuloo.org. Hey, everybody. We are so glad you're here for another episode of the Zuloo Poodcast. I am your co-host, Jocelyn Gardner, joined by Darren Mangum.
Hello, Jocelyn. Good to see you again.
Captain, how's it going?
Good.
Good. We just 2 seconds ago, we're talking
How have you
about...
been? Haven't seen you for a while.
I'm good.
I know.
I'm really good.
You're looking great in your black outfit.
It's all black. I was feeling a little Johnny Cash, but wanted to keep it cash
yeah,
with the shorts.
I can see that. I can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sanjay Banka of Banka Bio.
Yes.
Once we get into the interview, you'll hear about how he is completely, reshaping how they do these long train rides and dealing with the sewage issue.
You think about being on a B-2 bomber for 24 hours. How about a train going over through India? Which I've been on some of those trains, and it takes. I mean, sometimes and they're stopping every stop, and you've got the goats on board, and you got
right.
All things kinds, and then you got to go to the bathroom, and actually, we were in India last April, and we actually were in first class, and the toilet was a little bit of a challenge. The train is, I mean, it had a toilet there, but it wasn't like a hole. I mean, back in like third class, fourth class, it's just a hole in the ground.
And it's going straight onto the tracks?
It just goes straight on the tracks, which is, maybe fine for the train, but, the people that live by the tracks, could be a problem.
Oh, yeah, it's a big problem.
Right? But even then, it was a little challenging. I mean, that train is moving around.
Yeah.
It's like not like airplane turbulence. It's like all the time,
you're rocking.
Right? So, but yeah, I mean, Sanjay, his company has just really brought a great solution to that problem,
All right. Well, let's hear about it. Let's get into our interview with Sanjay.
All right. Sanjay, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's late over there. Like I said, I hope you're in your pajamas. And right after this, you can just hop into bed. Sanjay Banka. All right. We want to hear all about Banka Bio and your organization. But before we start there, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you landed in the sanitation space.
Sure. So I would say that the company Banka Bio was founded by my spouse, Namita Banka. And I was more in the background as a non-executive director, non-executive board member, supporting her. I kept my job so that we have at least, one kind of steady income in the family because entrepreneurial journeys are slightly topsy-turvy. So that was the aim. And when Clean India Mission started in 2015, momentum picked up pretty heavily, and then I joined it full time. So that's how, we began. I kind of joined full time, etc. I have a business background, I would say. I come from a traditional business family. I was in textiles earlier and things like that. I did my MBA in Germany, and that's where I got a global perspective of things. Back to India, joined a few multinationals, and then finally, Banka Bio happened.
So what was the inspiration for your wife then to dive into sanitation? What was the draw there?
Right. I would say partly, partly personal because there were certain issues which I'll share now, and partly, towards green sanitation. So, the number of loos are very less in most developing countries, including India, and in many work sites, marketplaces, they are still fewer. So for men, they can kind of stand and pee anywhere, but that's not the case for women, and that kind of led to development of kidney stones in the kidney, and she was operated for that. So this was
Oh, so
something
so
she
your
felt.
wife developed kidney stones because
Yes,
she
yes.
didn't have access to a restroom.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Restroom. I
okay.
mean, when she would go out to the workshops where she would get the jewelry pieces made. So she was a jewelry designer earlier before
Oh,
venturing into Banka Bio. So that was I would say one trigger, and then as she was exploring green business options with the railroads, the Indian railways, they said that they had introduced green toilets in the trains, which was more about kind of holding the fecal matter, the shit, in a certain container. It was called controlled discharge toilet system. So they were looking for support, and then they found Namita as a person who was keen about green ventures, and that's how our sanitation journey began. In the process, we learned that half of India was toiletless at that point of time. Uh, in the early 2010s when we started, and that's where we saw this entire gamut of half of India's population not having toilets, and then the Clean India mission and all that stuff. So it's been a nice journey since then.
yeah, I can imagine. So your wife was a former jewelry designer, and then kind of the lack of access to clean sanitation had a personal effect on her, and that's kind of what got
Yeah,
this ball rolling.
that was one of the factors. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's dive into. Oh, sorry, Darren. Were
Gonna
you about
ask.
to hop in?
I think we're thinking the same thing. I want to hear about these trains. We were just in India about a month ago, and we took the train from New Delhi to Agra, and I mean the train was great, but the toilets were a little bit challenging. I mean, going to the bathroom on a train anyway is a little tough with the movement, but
Yeah.
but then tell me what kind of solutions are you bringing to the railways?
Right. So it was more about below the toilet, I would say, not so much. I mean, the design of the toilet cabin or the toilet within the train is predetermined. So that's one piece we don't have a lot of influence over in terms of any change or whatsoever. So earlier, what was happening with the Indian trains is, or in the train toilets, was that it was an open chute system, and the fecal matter was dropping on the tracks. So it had two, I would say, negative effects. One was it would corrode the rail tracks. Secondly, if the fecal matter was in around in on tracks where a lot of informal settlements were there, so the residents of those informal settlements, or kind of more rudely called slums, they would be exposed to the fecal matter environment. So it was that thing. These are the two positives of having the biodigester tank below the train toilet. So in this case, the focus was more on treating the fecal waste, the shit, as the train was moving. And then, as far as the toilet cabin or the toilet within the train was concerned, it was a part of the coach itself, where we didn't have a lot of kind of room for improvement. So now, I mean, if water is not being kind of dried within the toilet, for instance, or let's say a tap is not functioning properly, or there's leakage, etc., that is something which we kind of make the officers aware, but we don't have a great deal of influence in that aspect, in the design of the toilet per se. It was more about the waste treatment.
Right. So then it's these tanks that you install does it replace the prior existing tank? Are you able to kind of retrofit the tank, the train car?
Yeah. So there was no tank before. We retrofitted the tank.
Okay.
So they would come to the coach factory, the workshop, and then, and I'm talking about a few years ago. So today all the trains are retrofitted. So each coach was fitted with the biodigester tank below the train toilet. Yeah. And now we undertake operations and maintenance of that.
Hey friends, it's Jocelyn with Zuloo. I want to share something that's really stuck with me after doing this podcast for the past few years. I feel like I've lived these stories, listening to what so many women and families go through every single day. As a mom with 2 young daughters, it hits me on a completely different level. Imagine having to wake up before dawn and risk assault just to find a private place to go to the bathroom. For 673 million people, that's not hypothetical. That's daily life. And for so many girls, the lack of a safe, clean toilet means they drop out of school once they reach puberty. Just trying to manage something as basic as hygiene ends up costing them their education and their future. That's why Zuloo Humanitarian is doing this work, building safe, sustainable toilets and clean water solutions for families who need them most. It's not just about sanitation. It's about dignity, safety, and giving girls a real chance. And here's the part that gets me. You can change that for a family. Just $350. That's less than $1 a day. You can fund a toilet for up to 7 people. If this speaks to you at all, please go to Zuloo, spelled ZULOO.org/give. That's ZULOO.org/give. It really does make a difference.
So it's you've solved the containment. It's no longer just dropping onto the tracks, which solves a lot of issues there. It's not corroding the tracks. It's not impacting those informal settlements that the trains are riding through. So how are you guys also treating the waste, or what happens when the tank is full?
Yeah. So it's simultaneous treatment. So it's containment plus treatment.
Oh, okay.
Both. So the biodigester tank is a multi-chambered specialized tank. And then in the beginning, we put a certain bacterial culture, which is fed on cow dung. So no chemical input. So it's the special design of the biodigester tank along with the bacterial culture, which act upon the fecal matter, turning that into water primarily and very minimal amounts of biogas. The biogas is so negligible, it's let off in the air. The water is chlorinated and then made to fall on the tracks.
Okay. So it's treated before it goes down onto the tracks, but it's without chemicals. Well, I guess there is a chlorination process before
chlorination part. That's it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And just a small amount of biogas. So very low impact, especially compared to what it was before.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So you guys, sorry, go ahead, Darren.
So that's amazing. That's great. You've solved those issues.
Yeah. I mean, now the way you describe it, it seems so simple, but I'm sure the journey to that was not. That's a lot of trains to retrofit. You guys partnered with the Indian Railways?
The Indian Railways, yeah.
So is this...
and we were one of the vendors, Jocelyn.
Sorry,
we were one of the vendors. I mean, we are talking about 200,000 coaches. So we were one of them. Yeah.
Wow. And is that across the entire country, or is that just a specific
country.
region?
Entire country.
Wow. That's incredible. And that's a relatively short amount of time. You're talking about the early 2010s. It's only 2025. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, A+ and big applause. Because
thank you.
I mean, it's not very often that you see such change on such a large scale like that to affect an entire.
So in fact, the Clean India mission or the Swachh Bharat mission in Hindi, it is dubbed as the largest political program, or rather, which had the political backing in terms of sanitation globally.
Amazing. And this it sounds like is probably the biggest project that Banka Bio has taken on. Are you guys implementing other solutions in other areas of sanitation.
We do that. So the BioLoo is, while train for the trains, it's a massive one. We do the same for households, so families, schools, communities, work sites, you name it, and then we can install a BioLoo. It's accustomed for all kinds of I would say geographies, climatic conditions, etc. Because the bacteria, they operate from 0 degree to 50 degrees kind of weather or so. So anywhere and everywhere, that's what we say. And we've installed thousands of BioLoos in schools through partnerships with large companies under their CSR programs, corporate social responsibility. So it's been a massive, I would say, BioLooization of unsanitary Indian condition.
The BioLooization. That's a great phrase.
And that's something I've coined right now.
Yeah. Amazing. So it's not just the trains. You're getting into schools. And did I hear you also say private residences? Everything. Yeah. Okay.
Work sites for the labor, for the workers, in border areas for the soldiers, or the border police for that matter, in mines, healthcare centers, anywhere and everywhere. Yeah. Tourist spots. So it is one of the best solutions in terms of decentralized / on-site / off-grid sanitation.
Yeah. You don't have to rely on a sewer system or anything like that.
We don't have to. Yes, absolutely.
Right, absolutely. All right, go ahead, Darren.
I'm just super impressed with. Do you find yourself a little bit surprised, because this didn't start with you? Your wife sort of had this idea and sort of like. No. Do you kind of like, how did I get here?
Not really. So I would be with her. It's not something that it was something new to me completely. When I would come back from work, I would kind of help out in the evenings, do some of the communication stuff, or some legal and compliances, etc. So I was involved from the very beginning. It's just that we didn't want to put both the eggs in the same basket. There should be a steady income. So that was one reason I kind of did not join things full time, and later on I did that. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's more about a personal, I would say, a cause, a purpose, and things like that. So that's what we see in what we do. So a very healthy combination of people, planet, profit, the triple bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Mm. What surprises have you come, like, have you had to unlearn anything? Has anything really surprised you on this journey? Because it seems like it happened fast. What were some of the either challenges or surprises that happened along the way?
Yeah. So, behavior change is one of the, we learned in the process, it's a very, very slow change. Change is an extremely slow process. So people who have been accustomed to open defecation or something like going out in the fields and, it's all fresh around you. And then suddenly people are, kind of forced to go into a box or things like that. So those were kind of some challenging moments. Mm-hmm. And then I would personally tell the elders of the house that it may be okay for you, it may be okay for your son and a grandson, but at least think about your wife, your daughter-in-law, your granddaughter. At least think about them, because to me a BioLoo is a bigger benefit to women in terms of dignity, security, and health hygiene. That's the kind of thing. So there were challenges in terms of trying to, make people aware of the fact that, yes, there needs to be an enclosure. You can't have, people just kind of, sitting in the open, if I could be so, blunt. That was one. Secondly, people would not associate with health. Yeah. So that was another issue. People would, even today, public health, how do I say? Prevention is better than cure is not something which goes into the head of people. And wash is directly associated with public health is not many people get it. Secondly, or rather lastly, it is something like it doesn't impact me directly. My shit is out there. It may be affecting others, but doesn't impact me. So I'm okay with that. So though these were quite a few kind of challenging factors as we interacted with people, as we pushed for sanitation one, and then an eco-friendly or a system that would kind of, as opposed to pit latrine and things like that.
Yeah. So I mean, the idea of, taking care of business out in the open, it sounds really romantic, but the realities of it, especially for women, it's vulnerable, it's dangerous. And then, of course, there's the health implications for everyone. What response have you heard from women who have, have you heard their reaction to it, being able to, be safe, that reclamation of dignity, and, just not being as susceptible to going out in the open?
Yeah. So it's been very positive from them. For instance, when we have deployed biolos in schools, the attendance rates has increased. The dropout rates of girl students that has kind of reduced. So we see things positive there, and girls and women have generally been happier about it. Mm-hmm. So in fact, if in a particular area, let's say we have tied up with certain organization, charitable or otherwise philanthropic, and we installed in a few houses because they kind of chose them, then the other houses would kind of be very keen that, when would our turn come?
Yeah.
So women have been kind of so very eager and persuasive about it.
Yeah. So they've seen it in other homes and say, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey friends, it's Jocelyn with Zuloo. I want to share something that's really stuck with me after doing this podcast for the past few years. I feel like I've lived these stories, listening to what so many women and families go through every single day. As a mom with 2 young daughters, it hits me on a completely different level. Imagine having to wake up before dawn and risk assault just to find a private place to go to the bathroom. For 673 million people, that's not hypothetical. That's daily life. And for so many girls, the lack of a safe, clean toilet means they drop out of school once they reach puberty. Just trying to manage something as basic as hygiene ends up costing them their education and their future. That's why Zuloo Humanitarian is doing this work, building safe, sustainable toilets and clean water solutions for families who need them most. It's not just about sanitation. It's about dignity, safety, and giving girls a real chance. And here's the part that gets me. You can change that for a family. Just $350. That's less than $1 a day. You can fund a toilet for up to 7 people. If this speaks to you at all, please go to Zuloo, spelled ZULOO.org/give. That's ZULOO.org/give. It really does make a difference.
Because here the added benefit is that waste is also getting treated. So the user, the household, any institution for that matter, they don't have to bother about that part. Yeah. Otherwise, if it's a cesspit or a septic tank, so there needs to be a periodic evacuation and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was curious, Sanjay, how much of your business is related to, you've got the railway program, which is obviously a commercial application. And then how much of your business is also like these I'm just on your website, you're talking about biodigesters and your bio toilet. What seems to be your main focus, or what is your how do you allocate across those different markets?
Sure. So railways or serving the railroads, railways is a steady, I would say, business for us. We bag a contract for undertaking operations and maintenance of bioloos in trains. So that's something which kind of goes on. There have been certain areas where we have been there for the last 10, 12 years continuously. In certain other areas, we have done, then kind of stopped for a while, then again re-begun and things like that. So that is a cash cow kind of thing, which kind of goes on. As far as others are concerned, so it's very, I would say, project specific. So in certain cases, we partnered with a few companies, and we had a 5-year partnership of school sanitation program. We did 500 schools, and then they said, this was our kind of mandate, and we, it got completed. So that's again kind of on and off as such. So although it's a large program, but it's like we take a small project, a large project in any part of the country. So next month we'll be deploying bio toilets, bioloos in wildlife sanctuaries.
Wildlife
This is something which we'll be doing for the first time. Yeah.
Wow.
So there are many
for
firsts.
people. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. So there are many firsts in the way we do. Yeah.
So, for us over here, when we hear wildlife sanctuary, is that just like a big open preserve and there's tigers and elephants? So what's the application of a bioloo there? Is it for the people coming to see the animals?
So both, I would say, who are coming to see, as well as for the staff members of the sanctuary.
Sure.
So if it's a very kind of widespread, and then, if people want to ease out there, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
So this is where a concept of a bioloop becomes pretty handy. So let's say we are talking about a manufacturing unit which is spread over a tons of acres or miles. Then we can have two bioloos, or a twin biotoilet as we call, one for men, one for women, and we can place them at different places as such, instead of there being a centralized one and then people having to come to a centralized a washroom complex, as we say. So this is the beauty of a bioloo, for that matter.
And is just to help us visualize, I don't know if you're familiar with like a porta potty here in the States. We use those a lot. Is the structure similar?
It is similar.
To that?
It is similar.
Okay.
It is similar. Yeah.
And
the only difference is that the porta potty, it has a container which collects the shit, and then it is taken and then kind of disposed of or treated as it is done for the flights and trains, etc. In this case, it is a stationary unit, and then the biodigester tank, it keeps treating the waste.
So no one has to come and collect it and take it somewhere else. It's treated right there in the unit.
Right there.
And then how is it kind of like dispersed? Does it ever get too full?
So it does, and then the water keeps coming out. So the last chamber has an outlet for water. The water again is pretty good for gardening, landscaping, etc. But since there are taboos associated with the water, coming out of the biodigester tank, so people don't want to reuse it, at least generally, we make a small soak pit and we let the water go underground. It recharges the water table.
Okay, so it just goes back into the water table, and it's been treated.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, it sounds like you've not stumbled upon. I'm sure it was a lot of hard work, but to be able to treat the waste right there, it's self-dispersing. No one has to come and maintain these units, other than cleanliness.
Yes,
it's wonderful.
You rightly said, Joseph. Other than cleanliness, there's nothing.
Yeah, amazing. So, all right, you guys.
And that's the first solution. Then we have others, and we can talk about that later.
Well, and I don't want to get too techie or chemistry-esque, but like, what is the biological process happening to the waste? What is doing the treating?
Right. So it's the anaerobic process in the absence of oxygen. It's something like kind of breaking away of the fecal matter, and then since our shit also has 70-80% of, I would say, water. That's how it is. If you were to leave it to dry, the size kind of shrinks very, it it becomes very, very kind of tiny. So that's the thing here. So it's mainly water and gas, and very small solid particles are there, which again keep coming out along with the water. So it's a kind of breakdown of the fecal matter.
I guess I didn't realize like the chemical makeup of our waste. I didn't realize that it was so much water, like solid waste. It's almost like you're dehydrating the poop.
kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, our body also has a lot of water compared to the solid part of it.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, Sanjay, what are you guys most excited about right now? What's the future of Banka Bio? What's keeping the passion alive?
Right. So it's all about around water, sanitation, hygiene, wastewater treatment, new geographies, new users, new clients, etc. So as I said, the first for us would be kind of putting the bioloos in a wildlife sanctuary now, for that matter, coming up with new, more innovative, decentralized solutions.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one we have is a fecal sludge treatment plant, which treats the waste evacuated from the septic tanks and pit latrines.
Mm-hmm.
So in that we have output in terms of biosolid also, which acts as soil enhancer.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have packaged sewage treatment plant for residential and urban complexes. Then so as you evolve, you kind of bring in a new solution, which is again decentralized. It gives back water back to the user for reuse. Depending on the treatment level and things like that. So today we are kind of extremely keen about making water available for further use. So you treat the water because with rapid urbanization, with rapid population growth, the demand for water will increase, or rather is increasing. The supply of fresh water will keep decreasing. So the only option would be to keep treating the water, the wastewater we generate, used water we generate, and then make it available again. Mm-hmm. So summers would be one of the most daunting ones. So all these things, they lead to something called water security. Mm-hmm. That's what we are kind of working on today.
Mm-hmm. So coming up with solutions to treat the waste in these already existing pit latrines, and then being able to treat the water and make it available for people. Because like you said, with, the rapid population increase in these urban areas, water security is becoming an issue.
Right. So for large, very large residential and commercial complexes, we provide STP as a service, wherein the company invests in the plant and recovers the capital cost and the monthly operations and maintenance cost as a monthly fee. So that's the latest model that we have innovated. Mm-hmm. So it's both in terms of I would say the technology, the system, the solution, as well as let's say financing / business model.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sanjay, this has gone way too quickly. You have been so fun to chat with. Darren, do you have any final questions before we wrap up?
No, I want to see one of these trains next time we're there.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Or maybe not the train, but the underside of it.
The underside, yes.
Yeah, you want to backstage tour
tank below.
All right. Well, Sanjay, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a good night's sleep, and
thank you.
We would love to stay updated on your progress. It sounds like you guys are doing incredible things. Thank you so much for your hard work.
All right, he's great. I love his energy.
Yeah,
it sounds like they've essentially solved this issue.
Yeah, I mean,
or at least they're on their way.
Yeah, I mean, that whole issue of not only hygiene on the train, but for the people that live on the tracks, all of that has now been solved through their technology to actually treat the waste, not just hold the waste, but treat it on site, and then that makes it easy for them to then offload it and service the train. But very much like how airplanes are done, but they've applied some of these technologies to these train systems, which India's got million miles of train tracks and trains. And so really just a brilliant solution. I just love to see, we love to highlight people that are using these innovative technologies in real world situations like this,
Yeah.
So
it's a question, here in the States, if you're on a long road trip, it's an issue. But we're mostly lucky, depending on where in the country we are, there's going to be a rest stop somewhere. But when you have to poop on the move, either in a what is it called? A B-2 bomber, or a train in India. Yeah. It's nice to know that people are figuring this stuff out.
Yeah. You're getting taken care of by these, innovative technology toilet entrepreneurs.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
This episode of the Zuloo Poodcast has been sponsored by Zuloo Humanitarian, advancing dignity, health, and opportunity through sanitation. Learn more at zuloo.org. Thank you for listening to the Zuloo Poodcast. Follow us on social media and visit zuloo.org to learn more about how Zuloo is helping tackle the global sanitation crisis through toilets, clean water, and hygiene solutions. If you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And if you'd like to support our mission, visit our website to learn how you can help change lives through better sanitation.